Hello, I'm the Angry Spork, taking issue with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto. Last time, Team 7 fought, then befriended the Turtles, as is crossover custom. Taking April and Kakashi's crew back to their home, Splinter explains his family is in hiding from Oroku Saki, who betrayed the Rat's master and stole his secret techniques. He now has mutagen to create an army of ninja mutants, and just as the Turtles and their new friends leave for dinner, he also found his way to the Turtles' lair. Issue 3's cover is nicely quaint. Raph, Leo, and Sakura enjoying some pizza, while Sasuke admires one of Leo's katanas, probably thinking of all the vengeful stabbing he could do with it. I hope those boxes the leader in blue is sitting on are all empty, because I know I wouldn't want to slice from that pile. We open to the Turtles and Team 7 taking in the grand view of the city, including a Statue of Liberty parody, bearing a signifying headband while holding a kunai in one hand and a scroll in the other. Give me your chakra tired, your Rio poor, your huddled masses in the shadows, yearning to draw first blood. After Mikey's fumbled attempt at a rap, the Leaf Ninja followed their hosts into town, sharing in a hearty cowabunga. Well, except for Sasuke, because Sasuke. As beautiful as the views have been on their tour, there's always the inner rot when they get closer, signified by some foot ninja they spot shaking down some citizens. They're taken down quickly enough by the Turtles that Team 7 didn't need to get involved, so they're clear to head into the pizzeria. They're given a stack of pizzas for free, for all their crime fighting, and to save a delivery trip to a storm drain. And I'm sure there are other reasons.
Wise man say, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
They descend through a manhole to head back to their lair. Sorry we gotta take the low road home. Too much attention from our adoring public. But no one else is around. We spend all our time in a sewer. They love us, but they tend to keep their distance and stay downwind. Yeah, this is a world where the human locals are fine with mutant turtles running around. They never get into if they had to work to be accepted, or stopping foot goons was enough to endear them to the people. But they don't face the kind of prejudice they might from most other adaptations.
They're monsters!
I suppose some teen terrapins might not be too jarring for folks in this series. Heck, maybe even seen as quaint. The ninja in this world use chakra to shoot fire from their breath, generate barriers of wood in seconds, and summon enormous frogs or snakes to fight each other. Also an ostrich that learned ninjutsu. Yes, that was an actual episode. Anime is weird, people. April and Splinter have been taken to Foot Clan Castle, where Saki says that Alopex should be commended for finding the lair, proving she's not a total waste of ooze, even if she's feeble and not the demonic force he had hoped for when he first mutated her. This remark ticks the rat off. You rule by fear with stolen power and dare disparage an innocent child? You're a disgrace, Saki. I'm beginning to think you skipped Hamato Yoshi's positive reinforcement retreat on purpose and never even had the stomach flu that weekend. April figures they must be alive for a reason, either to force her to help decipher Stockman's scroll or to lure the Turtles into a trap. She's right about the second thing. As Saki dramatically demonstrates, the scroll she was given of research notes was really a hiding place for Baxter's last vial of mutagen.
Hail science!
It was never the Warlord's plan to distribute the substance chaotically, but to test its full power on the most worthy of subjects. Sydney Sweeney. That's not going to make her want to go out with you, you know. Shut up, you don't know. The others arrive to the lair, finding it destroyed, April and Splinter gone, for which Naruto blames himself, seeing it was his team that kept the Turtles out. Leo denies that, saying that, as Sasuke mentioned earlier, it was only a matter of time before Saki tracked them down. The only thing that's really changed, Raph notes, is that there's nowhere their nemesis can hide from them. Back at the enemy base, Saki has chosen 4 of his strongest, most determined, and loyal enforcers to be anointed with the mutagen as one final test. Consider yourselves honored. Boss, unless this stuff is supposed to smell like bananas and kale, I think you grabbed one of Dave's probiotic smoothies by mistake. Their transformations are startling to Alopex, making her think that being a mutant means being a monster. But Splinter clarifies that the mutations offer them a chance to decide their futures, as he and his sons have, and asks what choices she will make.
Not monsters.
Saki then gives his spiky minions their first command. Cleanse Foot Clan Castle of this vermin.
What? No, you can't. I did everything you asked.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
She won't have to worry about this treachery that had zero build-up, because Team 7 and the Turtles crash in, so the villain redirects his enforcers to show their guests no mercy. Is it because no animal DNA was involved that the evil ninja are just covered in pointy platelets colored the same as the Turtles' masks, or did Stockman add some pineapple juice into the last batch? The red enforcer is not only strong, but faster than expected, almost crushing Raphael if not for Sakura's quick save. They then deploy an improvised attack, the Cherry Blossom Shell Smash, where she launches her partner at the enemy, taking him down with a full-body strike. The orange one is more durable against Leonardo's blades, but Kakashi notices their opponent isn't being overly smart about his own attacks. They quickly eliminate the threat by infusing the copy ninja's Chidori into one of the swords, into the Lightning Katana. Between Donatello's keen mind and Sasuke's Sharingan, they each can predict the Blue Enforcer's attack, eventually winning their fight by identifying his weak spot and striking at the same time with the Sharingan Staff. Because calling it "let's kick him at the same time" just isn't as catchy. You were right, Sasuke. It's definitely not cute. Typical, shallow, teenage turtle mutants and their unattainable standards of beauty. The purple enforcer's body is thick and malleable, like dough, which Michelangelo likens to how pizza is made, spinning and pounding the dough. This is a lot like a move Naruto has used before, so they combine their attacks into the Uzu Mikey Angelo Barrage, finishing off their foe. Personally, I think Uzu Mikey Barrage makes for better wordplay on Uzumaki Barrage, but maybe I'm splitting hairs, and perhaps they were just going for greater distinction. Is it weird that I'm criticizing that instead of how each pair knows when to shout the exact same name of each spontaneous, newly formed combo attacks? That just leaves Oroku Saki, who'd rather not accept defeat, so drinks the rest of the mutagen himself. It doesn't help that Naruto and Mikey kept yelling, "Chug, chug, chug!" He grows in size, his armor encompasses more of his body as barbs and blades emerge, standing before his enemies, formally declaring that this is the true power of the Shredder.
We have met the enemy, and he is big.
There's only one hero who can save the day now. Kino the Pizza Delivery Boy. Issue 4's cover is probably the coolest we've seen, with Naruto charging his Rasengan as he leads the turtles in attacking the Shredder. All of them have pretty intense battle faces, except Mikey, who's got his tongue hanging like a dog with its head out the car window.
Good boy, little drooly.
We open to Saki being struck by the teen ninja all at once. Fools! Your attacks are a parade of powerlessness.
Beautiful day for a parade, folks. After that float of hitting a brick with a pool noodle, next up on the parade of powerlessness is someone trying in vain to talk sense into David Zaslav.
Everyone giving it their all does little against Shredder's brute strength and projectile spines. Meanwhile, Alapex busts Splinter and April free of their bonds and carries them to safety before a large machine, or decorative piece of the castle, I can't really tell, falls to the floor. She claims she hasn't changed, just doing what's needed to survive. Except you could have survived if you did let them get squished. Feels like this is referencing characterization we didn't actually get to see fleshed out. The ninja are battered, tired, some have spikes in their shells, and Naruto calls Saki a monster, prompting another visit to Kurama in his mind prison, let's say. He urges his host to release him, lest his friends die, but the kid turns him down, saying he'll earn his own strength, protect the others his way, and doesn't need the Nine Tails' power. As he starts glowing with Nine Tails' aura. Feels like mixed signals, if you ask me.
Why must you turn my office into a house of lies?
Having said that last part about protecting his friends in the material world, Saki laughs off the sickening notion of friendship. Where are those magical ponies from Equestria when you need them? Oh right, Equestria. Abandoned as a baby in the gutters of his village, Saki defied fate, living without obligation to anyone else, and taking whatever he wanted to achieve what he has. Now enhanced by the mutagen, able to go wherever and be more than a simple crime lord, he'll burn Big Apple to the ground, and rise as a being of pure possibility. Technically, everyone is a being of pure possibility. It's just a matter of opportunity and support to direct their potential. but I guess science goop and sadistic selfishness work too if you're into that kind of thing. Having also grown up without parents, Naruto calls out this villainous monologue as a bunch of stupid excuses. How nobody gets by without some help. Saki betrayed a sensei who treated him like family to steal power at the expense of others, playing ninja for his own wants, and Naruto finds all that unforgivable. This is one of the redeeming qualities about this character. He is a bit ignorant, arrogant, obnoxious at times, but even when facing a stronger opponent, he's not afraid to call out their bullpucky. Even if they have a tragic backstory, some painful event in their past, he'll make it clear that they didn't have to be the bad guy, or make their emotional damage everyone else's problem. Summoning several shadow clones to attack the villain, also glowing with Nine-Tails chakra, he goes on that he could never be Hokage if he wasn't able to help his new friends, as Naruto is always willing to put his life at risk to achieve his dream. The turtles back him up, in both battle and sentiment. And he never goes back on his word. That's his ninja way. That didn't come up in personal conversation, he just talks about his Nindo so much, we heard by word of mouth before we ever met the guy. They each talk about fighting for friends, family, and the village, while getting some solid hits on Shredder, but they need to get in close to gain an advantage. Sakura has an idea for that, while Donnie notes that the enemy's body seems to be a kind of biometal, likely vulnerable to electricity. Way ahead of you, Donatello. Leave the stunning to Sasuke and me. Because we both have amazing hair. Sakura lifts up a piece of platform from the floor, and with the others hopping on, she catapults them at Saki. Kakashi and Sasuke each hit him with a Chidori, aka the lightning blade, followed by the turtles and some shadow clones getting in some up-close and personal damage. A couple of the clones also whisper how tacky his castle is decorated, just to pour salt on any of those wounds. Sadly, Shredder is still standing, and our heroes have just enough for a final attack, which would be great if they could all hit him simultaneously. Naruto gets an idea from learning how to surf the sewer layer on a skateboard. He powers up his Rasengan and tells the others they'll need to ride the wind. With his friends and teammates ready, young Uzumaki launches his half-shell Rasengan spiral sphere on a really slick-looking 2-page spread that'd make for a boss poster. Shredder is caught in a whirlwind of attacks from his foes, unable to defend, saying the ooze was supposed to make him unstoppable, and losing like this is inconceivable. To that, Naruto has just one thing to say: believe it. Technically it's one thing, but he usually says it over and over. Our heroes are victorious, with nothing left of Saki but his helmet and some green goo. Kakashi can still sense Shredder's chakra, which could be from the mutagen, or a sign he might be able to return. Sequel bait jutsu! The turtles are confident they'll be ready if their nemesis does return, for now just happy to have their dad back. April got the whole fight on camera, and is ready to report on the end of the Foot Clan. Splinter offers the now homeless Alapex to stay in their lair, which she can help clean up after that whole leading the Foot Clan to their secret base stuff. The Leaf Ninja need to get back to their village and make their report to Lady Tsunade, but Mikey respectfully suggests something else first. Thus, the comic ends on a splash page of family, new friends, and former foe enjoying some well-deserved pizza. That was Ninja Turtles Naruto, and I thought it was a really fun read. It plays out like a short filler arc from the series, loaded with typical tropes from shonen manga and anime, so anyone that isn't a fan of that genre may not have as much of a good time. The protagonist is annoyingly enthusiastic but means well, can be quickly loyal to good-hearted people, like Uzumaki was with the Turtles, and feel responsible if it seems his involvement led to something bad happening. Their backstory as an outcast and underdog can be relatable to the audience, but as happened a time or two in the show, it also ended up mirroring this Shredder's origins. While not quite a same versus same fight, it's more their contrasting philosophies. Both had reason to be resentful, angry, and even distrusting of others in their respective villages. But as the shonen protagonist, Naruto's is the much harder path of letting that animosity go, accepting kindness instead of exploiting it in order to achieve some loftier goal. Not to dominate or seek revenge, but to protect and earn the respect of others. Most shonen series do this with most big bads, which I think tends to make the evildoer's ultimate defeat feel more satisfying. If only everyone's social stigma and emotional trauma could be solved by eating ramen. It does lighten up on some of those elements from the show, however. Naruto isn't quite as loud or ignorant, Sasuke doesn't insult him, and a lot of his brooding is in the background, and there's no mention of the love triangle with Sakura. In fact, the closest indication there seems to be that she even has a thing for the moody Uchiha is this bashful look away at the end. I mean, provided this isn't some odd reflex to her first slice of pizza. The turtles remain mostly consistent with their usual characterizations, if tweaked slightly to fit in this world of hidden villages. Interesting choice to give Mikey something of a verbal tick, a brief chuckle before some of his dialogue. That, and stuff like his silly expression on issue 4's cover, is related to how he's the guy to lighten the mood, calm tensions, and so on. And to extend from that point, I liked the details on all their kabuki masks. Mikey's looking more jovial, Raph's was more serious, with a cracked scar to denote his rough personality. Leo's had a stern, focused expression of a leader, and Donnie's appeared more curious and inquisitive. Really nice touch. Alapex, a regular in the IDW series at the time, was fine as the loyal enemy soldier who gets betrayed by the villain, causing a heel face turn. Though there wasn't a lot of development of her character, no insight on her history beyond some glib exposition from Saki, so it's kind of difficult to get invested in her switching sides or accepting Splinter's offer. April seemed largely based on the 80s cartoon, but given an interesting design that feels right at home in this ninja world. The story did seem pretty quickly paced, sort of rushing through characters bonding in a single-page montage, or the Foot invading the lair after what felt like seconds of everyone else leaving to get dinner. There's no real explanation to how Big Apple Village came to accept the turtles as their protectors, which if nothing else could have been interesting to explore. But hey, limited page space. The art, while based on Naruto designs, skews to something a bit more stylized, remaining faithful to that series while also enabling the mutant characters to feel more organic to this world. Definitely a smart choice to go this route instead of another traveling the multiverse angle. This nicely simplifies the whole shebang. I really liked the flashbacks being in black and white, save for specific colors for the ooze, the turtles, Saki, and so on. Really made to pop and stand out. Fights are done well, still following some of those anime tropes, like landing an attack that seems to affect the target a moment later. It can feel odd in comic form though, especially if you're used to seeing it in animation, but it still felt pretty exciting. The mutated enforcers looked okay, perhaps a bit samey, but since they were basically mini-bosses to lead to the real threat, it's not a big problem. While I wouldn't give it the highest praise of any comic I've read, I can't find too much wrong with the story. If you enjoy anime and the turtles, this will be right up your alley, with fun character interactions, flashy attacks, and a clever integration of New York City as a ninja village. And unlike Naruto Shippuden, it didn't drag on longer than it needed to. I'm the Angry Spork, and man, have I got issues.